Good morning, guys. How are we doing? Today is the 17th of October 2022. Oh, and boy, has it been a big week. It's been a big week. It's been a big weekend. And sometimes when you're incredibly exhausted and some certain people have let you down, or, you're just sick of people's shit, whether at work or at home or around about you or whatever, and you're in a lot of pain because you've been doing a lot of work, and you're just tired, and you say things, you end up taking your shit out on the people that you don't really want to take your shit out on, and then they get hurt, and then they get their ass in their hand. Well, that happened over the weekend. It happened a lot. Well, one main part over the weekend. Yeah. And I got my ass in my hand. I was pissed off with what was thrown at me because Tanny was tired and hurting and is overworked and desperately in need of a week off, which he's taking this week, by the way. And I'd had a huge week and I was in pain and I was very exhausted, and there was a huge amount of cleaning up to be done. See, the thing is that Tanny and I have both come from abusive relationships, physically, mentally, emotionally, and quite a few other things in between. And what happens is that when you feel attacked or someone raises their voice, you're automatically on the defense. It's very difficult to not be defensive, and just because you're so used to being on the offense rather than the defense, because you're having to fight to be heard. And if someone calls you a liar, or someone says something about what you do, or attacks you in some way, you feel that you have to do the same back. We're getting better, and we're not doing it as much. But in situations where neither of us are in an emotionally or physically or mental state to be saying certain things to each other, because you push the wrong button and the whole thing will explode. We're still not at that point where we can't do that. So, things were said. And I went and did my live, Daz's live, and I went and did that. And I was still in a bit of a grockle. I'm not going to lie, I was in a grockle mood. And Tanny comes out at about 6 a.m. and he's standing at the door of the office. And the first thing he says to me is, "I am so sorry for what I said to you last night. I didn't mean it. I was just taking my shit out." And I went, "Oh no. And I didn't mean it. And I was just taking my shit out on you." And he got it and I got it. We both knew what was happening, which is why at the time it happened, we went our separate directions, and he slept on the couch and I slept in the bedroom. I took myself away from the situation. So it's been sorted. And we've been able to sit down and talk like adults again. Because in that moment, when it happened, we were like overtired, toddlers who just couldn't cope, didn't have words, and didn't have control. And it was like, I can't be doing this. Problem is with people who are neurodivergent, meaning me, if you are overly, and quite possibly Tanny, to be honest, there is a lot there that is very ADHD. If you don't get the right sleep, and if you're in stupid amounts of pain, you're not going to be able to mask, and you can't keep yourself together, and meltdowns will absolutely ensue. And if you add to that, you know, recovering and healing from abuse, years of abuse, you know, it's all going to blow up. So to those who have sent me messages and said, I hope you're okay and I'm here for you, I appreciate you and I love you to pieces. To those who are sending other people messages because you were worried, I appreciate you and thank you for them. We're okay. We are. We're just bimbling around trying to get it right, just like everybody else, really. We just know and are trying to understand the fact that we react in certain ways because of who we are and our experiences. And we're trying to get it right. We are. We really are. At this point, Tanny and I would have walked away years ago if it had been anybody else. If we weren't meant to be going through this journey of life together, we would have already gone. That's how bad it's been at times. But we're getting further apart between these blowouts. And that's a good sign. That's a very good sign. Used to be a weekly basis. Then it went to fortnightly, then it went to monthly. Now it's, when we moved in, there was a lot of extra stress there, and it was a couple of weeks where we were just like at each other, hammer and tongs. But you know, it hasn't been like that for 3 or 4 months. You know? And we're good. Sure, we nitpick at each other and we have a go and we try and discuss things like adults when we have to. And we do it. But the biggest thing is, you got to know where you're coming from and where the other person is coming from so that you can get back together and figure it out. Life's not supposed to be easy. You're supposed to bimble around and figure it out together. And if you've got 2 committed people who are committed to healing themselves and not keeping doing the same things over and over again, and you can understand where the others are coming from because you've been there yourself, then although it is hard at times, you just keep going. I love you guys heaps. I'm not in any way, shape or form saying that if someone picks up their fist and hits you with it, you should stay there, because you really shouldn't. But what I am saying is this. If you have 2 broken people that come together, that understand that they're broken and that the other person's broken, and it can recognise what the behaviours are and why, then fight for it. Work on it. It does get better. Sure, life's hard. Stuff gets thrown at you. But you deal with it and you keep going. You got this. But like I said, I'm not saying that if someone is, this is very different to someone being abusive towards you. Because if they are being abusive towards you, there's a door. You need to use it. You need to get on the other side of it. You need to take your kids and you need to get somewhere safe. That's all I'm saying. Now I'm going to go. I love you guys heaps. Blessings.